The story goes back to before the God of War festival started. Iris was training as usual around the Midgar Kingdom. Then flashback to when Iris was a child with the talent to be the strongest knight in the city of Midgar. Iris was everyone's pride because she possessed incredible magic power and swordsmanship. When Iris was a teenager, she was already a role model for everyone. They believe that the land of Midgar is always safe if there is the power of Iris. Iris also has a great responsibility as the first princess in the kingdom of Midgar. Back to the present, Iris was also annoyed with Alpha because she underestimated Iris's power. Even when the Midgar Academy was attacked by terrorists, Iris and her army couldn't enter or do anything. Iris had tried to talk about the Shadow Garden and the Diabolos cult to her father, but Iris' father didn't want to do anything and didn't take anyone's side. If Iris disobeyed her father's decision, it would mean that Iris was endangering this country. When the quarrel with the church and the sacred land is the same, her father didn't want to take any action. The kingdom of Midgar didn't have the strength to fight against Shadow Garden and the Diabolos cult, so Iris had to obey her father's orders. Because of that, Iris would win the God of War festival to prove that she was the strongest knight. Iris also won't disappoint everyone proud of her for so long. She has a great responsibility for the kingdom of Midgar. By the way, Iris hasn't sided with anyone yet. She didn't side with Shadow Garden, nor did the Diabolos cult. I'm actually a little lazy to tell this character. It's too bad her way of thinking was strange due to her always being emotional or angry. Meanwhile, Alexia believed in Shadow Garden and wanted to eradicate the Diabolos cult since the development from the beginning of the episode after the kidnapping. The final round of the God of War festival would begin with Claire's match against another knight. Sid was neatly dressed and handsome, while drinking coffee from Gamma's company. I'll mention Gamma's company name now, because this has something to do with the storyline when the second season airs later. Gamma's company is Mitsugoshi, and all employees are Shadow Garden members. Meanwhile, Gamma disguised herself as Luna. Back to the story. Not long after, Iris came and sat next to Sid. Of course, Sid was annoyed because a character like Iris stood out too much with a minor character like Sid. Iris also started talking to Sid like a friend. She said she liked the smell of coffee from Mitsugoshi, but Iris didn't like this bitter coffee. Then Sid suggested adding sugar or milk to the coffee. The taste would be different, and Iris could like the taste. When Iris tries Sid's suggestion, not long after, Beatrix came to the VIP room but didn't want to give her sword to the maids and knights there. Because of that, Beatrix was not allowed to enter this room. Then Iris immediately approached Beatrix because she was the one who had invited Beatrix here. Of course, everyone was shocked because it was the first time seeing Beatrix's figure now. Then Beatrix and Iris sat beside Sid's chair, which really bothered him. Beatrix and Iris stand out too much and don't fit beside Sid. Then many people still wanted to chat and say hello to Beatrix. Beatrix also asked them about people who had similar faces to hers. However, they didn't know about it and changed the subject to the God of War festival. They were curious, was there any knight who caught Beatrix's attention? Then Beatrix answered their questions like this. Of course, everyone was surprised that a weakling like Sid could catch Beatrix's attention. The previous two students also said that Sid's strength differed greatly from Claire's, like the earth and the sky. Then some people began to doubt, is this Beatrix really a real person? She looked like an ordinary person, and even judged that Sid would become stronger. In another VIP room, it turns out that Doem had indeed influenced King Oriana with a potion. He is a member of the Diabolos cult. Doem also ordered his servant to give the king perfume, so that no one would know the smell of the potion. Doem had made King Oriana a puppet to obey his orders. Even so, King Oriana could still be conscious and hear whatever the people around him were talking about. Then Doem said that if King Oriana had given him the key, Rose wouldn't have become like this. That key was extremely important to the Diabolos cult. I will explain the key details that Doem meant when the second season airs later. Then Doem and King Oriana started walking to attend the last round of today's festival. In Doem's mind, if Rose doesn't turn herself in, Doem will order King Oriana to kill King Midgar. That way, the Oriana kingdom will collapse and no longer have any connection with the Midgar kingdom. Doem will carry out this plan when Iris competes against Jimina later. Then Doem and King Oriana meet King Midgar with his guards. After that, they headed to the VIP place with special seats there. Doem is still worried about Jimina because there is no data or any identity regarding him. Because of that, Doum concluded that Jimina was a knight from Lawless City. The city is a mess, there is no proper ecosystem, and many thugs or monsters. Jimina will be a threat to Doum because Jimina is a dangerous knight. Doum has also added other Diabolos cult troops. They hid in every city and sneaked into the God of War festival. Doum also realized Rose's movements at that time seemed to align with what Shadow Garden was doing. When Doum and King Oriana passed Beatrix's chair, Beatrix suddenly said there was a strong smell there. Of course, Doum panicked and immediately ordered the knights to restrain Beatrix now. But Iris calmed Doum down and introduced Beatrix to him. Doum is surprised that Beatrix is an elf born or raised from the blood of the hero Olivier. Then Beatrix apologized to Doum, and so did Doum. After King Oriana and King Midgar sat on the king's special seats, Doum was surprised that a great swordswoman had come to this festival. This is completely beyond Doum's expectations and plans. If Beatrix were here, Doum would not be able to kill King Midgar. Doum hopes Rose shows up before the festival ends, and Doum can carry out his plans smoothly again. When Claire and the other night match begins, Sid tells Iris and Beatrix that he wants to poop again. Of course, Doum gets suspicious when he sees Sid's behavior, but it's only then that Doum realizes that Sid is just a stupid guy, and there's nothing to worry about him. After Claire won her match, Iris went to the arena to fight Jimina. Many Midgar knights and servants supported Iris because she was the pride of the Midgar kingdom. Not only them, but everyone in the land of Midgar. By the way, Sid always says he wants to poop because he wants to disguise himself as Jimina. In fact, many students refer to Sid as a pooping man, toilet man, etc. since the incident on the streets in episode 6. Then Iris and Jimina's match begins.
来ないのか。
今確かに切られた。まさか錯覚。ならばこの会場の全てが奴の剣の間合い。
さっきからアイリス様は何やってんだ。一人でフラフラフラフラ。
そんなことができるのは世界最強のなぜ剣を持っていると。
On the other hand, Claire didn't find Sid in the VIP seats. Because of that, Claire searches for Sid all the way to town, and she runs into a disguised Rose. Yesterday, she wore Midgar Academy clothes to solve today's problem. When Rose arrived at the festival venue, she saw several members of the Diabolos cult who had been killed. Then Beta and the other members told Rose to continue her rebellion. Meanwhile, Shadow Garden will take care of the Diabolos cult army. Back to Iris and Jimina. Everything Iris experienced was just an illusion created by Jimina, and Iris was completely defeated without taking any attacks. Jimina's moves or magic will not be known by anyone except Beatrix and Doum. Of course, the King of Midgar and everyone else were disappointed to see this match. Beatrix was amazed by Jimina's strength and wanted to fight him now, while Doum was surprised because Jimina could beat Iris so easily. He had never seen the moves Jimina used. Even the strongest swordsman wouldn't be able to use it. He was worried that Jimina would get in the way of his plans today. Before long, Rose came to meet Doum and King Oriana. Of course, Doum was very happy to see Rose's arrival according to his plans. Then Rose said she wanted to apologize to King Oriana for doing so many things. Even Rose also apologized for what happened after this. As the princess of the Oriana kingdom or the daughter of the King Oriana, Rose will follow the path she believes in next. Upon hearing that, King Oriana smiled and forgave Rose's actions. However, when King Oriana wanted to continue what he was saying, Doum was angry that King Oriana had not followed Doum's orders. Of course, Rose immediately stabs Doum again, but suddenly, Doum deliberately uses King Oriana to protect himself. Doum even accused Rose of deliberately killing King Oriana for Rose's selfishness in ruling the Oriana kingdom. When Doum looked at Rose, it turned out that Rose intended to kill herself, but suddenly,
それが貴様の選択か。
あなたはまさか。
我が名はシャドウ。
スタイリッシュ盗賊スレイヤーさん。 あなただったのですね。
Sid failed to get a cool moment in front of many people. Flashback to when Rose was a child being captured by bandits. She is saved by Sid, disguised in a burlap sack mask. Sid kills all the bandits there very brutally. Rose witnessed the killing firsthand and saw Sid's beautiful sword swing. After all the bandits are killed, Sid steals their money as usual and tells Rose to go home. Rose asked Sid, "Who are you?" Then Sid replied that Rose could call him Stylish Bandit Slayer. Back to the present. Rose didn't expect Shadow to be the Stylish Bandit Slayer. Rose admires Shadow for continuing to fight criminals despite his loneliness. Meanwhile, Rose wants to choose a shortcut through suicide to solve the problem. Rose was in a lot of pain and fear because this all happened so suddenly. Actually, Rose can still fight, but this life is very painful. Because of that, Rose chose to die rather than have to live like this. Shadow explains that Stylish Bandit Slayer was just a ghost kid who happened to be passing through the forest. Then Shadow used his cool words again. He ordered Rose to run from there and keep fighting because her life path did not end yet. After hearing that, Rose obeyed Shadow's orders, then ran away from the festival venue and warned the people there to leave here immediately. Dome immediately ordered the Diabolos cult army to go after Rose, but sadly, all of the Diabolos cult had already been killed by the members of Shadow Garden. Then Beatrix deliberately did Dome's orders because she wanted to fight Shadow. Of course, even though Shadow knows that Beatrix is not a criminal, Shadow still smiles because he can have fun today.
Beatrix!